Hi, welcome back to Code with Petipois. I thought I'd do something different today and share with you all the different things that I have been doing with Astro. I've been following people like your average tech bro, um, starter story, um, Mark Liu, and others. Oh, the other one is Greg Eisenberg. And um, a lot of these channels have actually helped me to develop a good pattern in order to actually ship products. So I make a lot of full stack apps on my channel. I've done a lot of tutorials and things, and sometimes I've even shown you live builds of stuff as well. But I want to show you the very first thing I tried to make, and it failed, obviously. I want to talk about my failures and my successes, and what kinds of things that I build, and they might be helpful if you're someone who likes to build. I'm also going to lean into why I use Astro for all of my builds. Spoiler alert, it's just the best framework. Okay, so this was the very first app I was trying to make. So this is supposed to be a feedback form thing that's supposed to help indie game developers by just entering your Steam ID, and it was going to be a link that you could share with other people, and they could, look at your game and give you some feedback. And as you can tell, it's pretty raw. It's very, very bad design and everything, but it was an idea I had, especially because at this point I had started my development of my game. Started looking at the game that I was making, which is Bump Guardian. I was thinking about how you'd be able to get feedback for a Steam game. It wasn't in development quite yet, but it was a game jam game at the time. So this was what I built. You could even demo it. You could try the demo. I don't know if it would work, but if it does, that'd be great. It does. Okay, so this is some of the things I tried where you add a Steam ID. So if I go to Steam DB and I add something like MMO 98, shout out to Bite Me Games, and I put that here. I say generate a page, and if we take a look, generated a page, review the page, and it has a simple page, pulls all the information and videos, and this is what I would have added, and then you could have a feedback and send it and stuff. So it doesn't work, and I'll tell you why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because I thought, well, the best way to validate a product is to get pre-orders, which is a lot of the time what the YouTubers that I've been seeing always talk about. So I tried a pre-order, which I think is probably one of the reasons why this didn't get off the ground, and that is the reason. So maybe in the future I'll go back to it and maybe obviously change the price. Knowing what I know now, this is probably one of the reasons why it failed. 0 pre-orders and that, because I didn't get pre-orders, I didn't pursue it any further. However, I still put it on Product Hunt and it got like 8, which is great, which is nice. So then I thought, okay, this one didn't take off, but maybe they want something like this. This is, I'm going to just sign out for now. This is Ludum Landing. So create a landing page for your game. It's, you put in your, I'm going to do the same thing here, try the demo, and check, and I'm going to say video, and say continue, and it's going to create a landing page for you, all about your game, your media and socials, in like seconds, and obviously this is the page resets. But that's the premise of the game, of the not the game, of the web app. And again, it originally was like $39.99, and I changed it to $19.99. But regardless, it's still not. No one's paid for it. I thought it, would save developers time and stuff like that. They could just focus on their game, just put in the Steam ID once their page was up, and just collect wish lists some other place other than Steam. Well, it actually links back to their Steam page, but anyway, it was just another thing to share. Where they could even add like a newsletter URL or different things like that. So that's another one. Again, no revenue. So I was starting to notice a trend, and I wanted the one-time fee because I felt like a lot of people just don't like subscriptions anymore. It was subscription heavy. Every SaaS is a subscription. And I know that like Mark Liu and all those people, that's how they make their money. And it's, they have a good following, so that kind of leads into it as well. And they make a good product too. But I just felt like people don't like subscriptions. So I figured if I make my apps no subscriptions, I'll see less revenue, it's true. But, I won't have the overhead of actually having to maintain anything. So that was this one. Then I did a hackathon project. Again, very raw. You can tell I didn't use AI much with this. The last two as well, I didn't use AI quite a lot in my development workflow at the time. But this one is Fixtro. Exactly what it says. Takes a Figma design and gives you some components based on that. Very, very raw. So you paste your Figma link, you preview it, and it gives you some clean code. Now, it still generally works, I believe. But again, I'd have to revisit it and kind of clean it up a little bit more. And it works in a credit. This is the first time I did a credit-based system. So, but nobody bought any more credits other than the 5 that you get originally. So, kind of dead in the water there. So that's the first 3. 0 revenue. Now, this is the first one that actually made any money. And I started it. It was an idea I had in October 2025. And I created it in November 2025. So, end of November 25, and this is the one. So, Capsule Talent. Is what it says, find and hire Steam Capsule artists fast. No revenue percentage. It's, there's artists on there, there's developers, and basically it's mainly for developers to contact these artists and use them for their work. So this is some of the artists that are on the platform, and this was actually the first time. It's gone through a few iterations, but this is the first time I actually made any money while I was still in development. So at first, this has changed now. It used to be $39.99 or $49.99, and the verified badge used to be $19.99, and in December 2025, I received a $19.99 amount. So that was, for me, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the first time I've made any money, which was the goal, to make some money on with the product. So this is, why exactly. So I went through different iterations, got some feedback, and also gave away some things, did some giveaways and things like that, just to try to build the platform a bit more. And so far, this has made the most. So I've altogether, with this platform, I've received 45. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So I've done a lot of Steam promotions and things like that, so that people can, um, get discounts and things like that. And that doing the discounts actually which was actually a very good idea, was one of the ways I actually got some more money. And that leads on to my next one, which is WordPress to Astro. Completely different. It is not related to game development or anything like that. But it was something that I was seeing. I had somebody contact me that wanted to turn their WordPress into an Astro project because they heard Astro was a better fit. And in the end, I just needed to do a consultancy. Not consultancy. What is it called? A coaching session. So we did a coaching session, and I walked through how he would do that himself. But he kind of gave me the idea, maybe people want to do this very quickly, just to have a basic, pull all the information, get me the different layouts of, what I need for an Astro project. And that's what this project is. So you enter in your WordPress URL, and you basically, it shows you here better actually. It enters, it gives you basically a project as a file of all of these things, and it's your images, your everything gets turned into pages and posts separately in using content collections with Astro, which is another reason why Astro is the best for full stack websites. And what else is there? Yeah, and that's all it is. And again, it is a one-time fee. And at the moment, it's got a summer sale, and this is what actually made this particular one get one user has bought that. And so that, again, doing the discounts seems to be working better, and trying to make a tool that's actually useful for other developers. Probably the wrong niche if you want to make money, to be honest. But these are things that I would use, so that's why I want to make them. Which leads into Astro Stack. So I have made so many different things, different iterations of things. Some you've seen in my tutorials and things like that. So I decided, okay, what if we made plates? We could just sell some templates. There's tons out there already, but these templates are full stack, and they're Astro based, not Next.js, not React, not Solid, not Svelte, Astro, because Astro is the best. And these are the ones I've made so far. So we've got the GSAP portfolio, we've got a Shopify and Astro, we've got a pre-order one, we've got a waitlist one, and we've got 2 coming at the end of July. And altogether their value is pretty high. But if we take a preview, this is the GSAP one. This is kind of what you get. This is very basic. And if I take a look at if I show you the Astro and Shopify one, you basically enter, it uses the Shopify API, content collections, all of that, and makes it very, very easy to pull in, template, which is really, really awesome. So it's currently on sale. Hasn't made any money yet, but it's something that like I said, I would personally use. That's why I've made it again. Most of the time, I've tried to do wait lists beforehand. Especially the one that worked the most was Capsule Talent, and WordPress to Astro as well. This one I didn't, and I feel like if I did, maybe I would have more interest. But we'll see how that goes. So far we've only got this one, Capsule Talent and WordPress to Astro, that's actually made any money. after several attempts beforehand. So now another one that's made some money recently is Scout. So this was an idea I had thinking about all the different times that you have made a game, but you don't know if, there's certain content creators that might like your type of game. So I figured, what if you could search YouTube, put in a game title. Let's say your game is similar to MMO98 or All Hail the Orb, or a game about feeding the black hole, or a game about digging a hole. Whichever games that are very that you are related to your game. Even if it's not exactly the same, you could be, Slay the Spire, Stardew Valley, whatever it is. But you want to find content creators who've covered those games, or games similar to them, in the last 6 months. That is Scout. And this, again, is going back to the fixture, is the type of system. So it's a search credit. So you get 5 search credits for 6, or 20 for 20. So this one made 20 just once so far, which is great because I only launched it, I would say, in May. May 2026, and it already made 20 in June, so I'm happy. It's not a lot, but the idea is to ship fast, as Mark Lee would say. The idea is to ship fast and get products out there as quickly as possible. It might not make a lot of money, but so far I'm developing the system. So now I've, thought that was relatively easy to make. So let me go to make another one, similar, but this time you're looking for shorts. So that's what Radar is about. It looks for shorts with that game title. I've been seeing a lot of Desktop Defender shorts come up on my feed, and I was like, I love his format. I want to copy the tags that he has if I was making a similar game. So that's what I made Radar, and that's what it is. It's, you search Desktop Defender, and it gives you a list of all the shorts on YouTube with that kind of title, or in the description, whatever it is, and you get that back, and you can copy the tags, you can look at the description, you can see the format that he's done in real time, you can save it, so you look back on it later and search for another game. Again, it works on a credit system. So far, I launched it last week, so I haven't made any money yet, it's too early. But that is, the goal, to make tools for indie game developers, because I feel they are extremely, overlooked is the word. There's not a lot of tools for them. And as I'm making a game myself, let me just share with you. This is the game I'm making, Bob Guardian, and going to be released in August. It's a tower defense deck building style game, and I'm actually having a lot of fun. It's my first one, so that's why it's going to be great. I got some feedback from Steve Zukowski fairly recently about the Steam page, and it was good to get some nice feedback about that. Now, that's another reason why I'm doing a lot of stuff with game developers too. So I'm kind of, what did they say? Eating dog food, or I don't know what the expression is, but something like that anyway. Finally, this is the one that I've been sharing a lot recently, is Valley Page. Now, I thought I have tons of ideas about products and stuff that I want to ship and make. What if, because of the philosophy I found working with these 3, and no wait lists, what if you could just generate a waitlist page? So it's a page you can share with other people, and you get them to wishlist your idea, basically. There's tons of them, I know, but this is my version of it. And this is some of the ones that I have. I have two. I have 2 pages, and this is the dashboard. So it tells me all the ideas that I have, how many signups I have, when it expires. So this is actually a free tool, my very first free tool. And, well, actually no, it's my second, but I'll show you my first in a minute. And then you have the directory. So this is the page that you get generated, and this is the idea for the site, the name of the site, some features, how much it's going to cost, and you can enter. So 3 people have already joined, which is great. And you can enter that. Also, let me just show you. You could also do a course. So you can say beginner Astro course to teach Astro, all about why Astro is the greatest to learn. Look at my YouTube channel to see my style. Then you can add your curriculum, say build a full stack app, and continue pricing, and we're going to say it'll be free. Generate my page, and there we go. So we've got a course. You can copy the URL, and if I put it in, there it is. There's no pricing, it's free, so that, yeah, and then you can see how many people are enrolled. So you can send that to people. Obviously, you would flesh it out a bit more, but that's my latest. That is my latest SaaS app. Well, it's not a SaaS app actually, because it's free, like I said. You only pay if you want it. You get a one project at the start, and if you want an extra project, then you can pay. But the page only lasts 30 days. So it's more of an experiment to see if people, look at it, sign up, all this kind of stuff. You can export all the signups. It doesn't actually go away until you actually physically email and say you want everything deleted. But after 30 days, the page is no longer live. So it's still, all the information is there, all the emails that you've collected are still there, but visitors will not see it anymore. So yeah, and I just wanted to show you, I can't remember the name of it now. Oh, okay, so if I look at my, I'll show you here instead. Oops. So there's one more project that I have, and it's this one, Open Course. Now this is a open source platform for selling video courses independently, and this is actually my first free project. It was a hackathon project, so that's why I would say that it's not my first free project, but it outlines everything you need to make basically a teachable clone. If you would like one-on-one coaching, I do that. So that's something I actually offer on my website. If you would like to see more different, there's actually, I'm working on quite a few new tools at the moment. And might even revisit a few as well. Now that I've, Now that I've done made a few apps that has made a little bit of money, now it feels like the right time maybe to revisit some that have failed, but every failure is actually is actually a lesson. The more you fail, the better it is. Now, there was actually one specific video from Your Average Temper that I just want to highlight. His latest one is good, but the one that I want to share, sorry, let me just actually go to his channel. And he talks about how many apps he did before his latest one. And where is it? Let me just go videos. This is better. So the one that he did was, took 14 trials. This is the one. Now,
It's pretty hard to tell that I'm AI.
I recommend this one because, as you can see, a comment. He built 14 apps over 5 years. Most of them flopped. So what I want to get at here is, it's true, I have made a lot of apps, especially the last 6 months. And the only reason I was able to build them and ship them fast, one, because of Claude AI, and being a developer makes speed up development, but also because of Astro. Astro is the best framework for making, basically, for me, anything web dev related. It's just so easy to understand, easy to implement, and ever since I've started using it, is basically 2 years ago I started using it and I haven't stopped. And all my web apps and my framework is basically Astro. So I use Astro, Vue.js, I also use Clerk for auth, and I use AppWrite, and obviously Stripe. So because I use this sort of framework, I've been able to ship the last 6 products in 6 months. Like I said, a lot of them have failed. Maybe I need to push them a bit more as well. And maybe I need to prove and validate them more before actually making them. But regardless, I hope you see a trend here that, it doesn't really matter your stack. But as long as you build something that is useful, that maybe you think somebody else might enjoy, just make it. Just build it. I have a pair of twins. They're going to be 2 in August. And I haven't got a lot of time. So use what you need to use in order to ship fast, I use the free plan of Claude. I use the free plan of Gemini and ChatGPT. I don't use a lot of paid tools. I don't use the paid version. If I did, fine too. You don't need to spend so much money to build things, especially if you know how to code. You can utilize your knowledge plus just speed up things with piece of AI. Use it. I mean, it's there to be used. And I'm not saying blindly, I'm not saying vibe coding, because I tried to vibe code something and it really doesn't. For prototyping, it's very good. If you just want a simple prototype, vibe coding is the thing. But as a coder, I couldn't really vibe code anyway because I know what I'm coding. If I was maybe learning a new framework, maybe that would probably substitute. It would probably be vibe coding. But I knew what I was kind of doing, so it kind of didn't really work. But I tried Emergent, I tried all these different things, Lovable, and all these things. And personally, as a coder, I mean, if you don't know how to code, maybe, vibe code something, that's fine. But I wouldn't trust it completely because you need somebody to look at the code, even just to make sure that, what you're coding hasn't got any security vulnerabilities, etc. So that's something to think about. But anyway, this is another thing I use a lot, Ratify. I know a lot of people use Vercel, and Vercel is awesome, but you have to pay for it. Ratify, not so much. Although recently I've been paying a little bit because I keep making changes to my code and stuff. But try and utilize all that's available. I just wanted to be transparent to show you my tech stack and just what I like to do, and also why I created the channel. The channel was supposed to help me establish myself in Astro, and I feel like I'm doing that, but I also just wanted to give you an update as to why, and also all the different things that I've been doing with Astro that maybe you haven't thought about. I think it's great for full stack. Next.js is great. React is, don't get me started, I never actually learned it. But it's just, no, it's not my thing. But Astro is the way to go. So that's all I'm gonna say. Sorry, just making sure. My husband's grabbed my kids, so I'm just like, okay, just got a few minutes to share with stuff with you. So that's all I want to say. Thank you for being a subscriber, and you can see, if you like this type of style of video, like I said, I can do more, where I do a little bit more deep dive into who I am, what I'm doing, all the projects I'm making, etc. Try out some of my projects. A lot of them, you don't need to pay to try it if it resonates with you. Like I said, there's a discount on Astro Stack if you want a few templates that are not your average templates. I just think that I just wanted to send a message, say that, if you're a fellow indie hacker or developer, welcome. And I'm just really happy to be able to share my knowledge with you. And that's another one. I coding in public. That's another YouTuber that I enjoy watching as well. He has a very good wide range of different videos about Astro as well. Another source of inspiration for some of mine. He also has a really good course that he gave me a discount for, which is great. So yeah, I would say, Astro is the way to go. Now, I use Astro in everything. I'm not sponsored by them. They haven't given me anything. I have been sponsored by Appright and Superbase before, so I've got some merch from them for making a lot of videos regarding, databases and how to integrate Astro into Appright or Superbase. So I've done a few things like that, which is great. So that's another way to get money online, especially through a YouTube channel. And I also watch a lot of this as well. vidIQ, I have their apps and things. I haven't done a YouTube coaching thing yet, but maybe in the future to help improve my channel. But I wanted to be as transparent as I could. My goal this year was 2026 was to make at least $1. So far, I've made 85, so I'm very happy. But the year is not over yet. It's only been, we're only just in July, so it's only been 6 months technically. So we've got another 6 months ahead. And I'm also developing my game as well, so that should be finished by its release date in August. But yeah, so that's just an update on what I'm doing, who I am, why I'm doing it. Absolutely enjoy indie hacking. Never knew it was a thing until, a year ago, maybe. But really, in the last 6 months, has really accelerated my understanding of how it works and shipping apps and just getting the ball rolling, developing a framework and trying to spend as little money as possible. And I think Mark Liu said, he always, his philosophy is always something to do with, micro apps, super, super niche, super, super small, solve one problem. And I've taken that into consideration, trying to solve one problem at a time rather than this one huge platform. I even got interviewed actually by someone who's making a mobile app. They wanted to know, what developers, some developer insights. That was pretty cool. To be considered from a post on Reddit randomly. So that's me. Thank you for watching Code of Petipois. If you stay till the end, awesome. And I hope you have a good day. Like and subscribe for more.